Pic N Save was a closeout retail chain that opened in 1950 and closed in 2002. It would reopen as Pic N Save Bargains. Welcome to another episode of Throwback Thursday. So stay tuned on a random Thursday for a new remade video of an old video that I did before. Thanks. In 1950, World War II veteran Bill Zimmerman opened the first Pic N Save in Culver City. After the war, Zimmerman moved to Los Angeles. Working as a welder at night, Zimmerman made the rounds of manufacturers by day. Buying and selling was what he knew, so he would run to see what manufacturers had left over. These leftovers ranged from shirts, which Zimmerman hawked on the street, in bars, and other places, to plastic household wear sold directly to grocery stores. Zimmerman soon began selling from the back of a truck, and by 1950 he opened his first retail store in Culver City, California, moving his family into an apartment in the back of the store. Called Freight Outlet, the store featured war surplus and other items. Zimmerman's wife tended the store while he searched for merchandise. By the mid-1950s, Zimmerman was able to open a second store. Arthur Frankel, Zimmerman's cousin, flew out to Los Angeles to join Zimmerman's business. Zimmerman took charge of locating and buying merchandise, usually paying on the spot in cash, and Frankel picked up Zimmerman's purchases, storing them in a warehouse or stock in the stores. The pair slowly expanded that freight outlet chain, primarily in the Los Angeles area, and then moving into other areas in California. In the 1960s, Zimmerman changed the name of his stores to Pic N Save, in part to distance the chain's image from its Army surplus origins as the company moved to sales of new merchandise exclusively. By then, Zimmerman had already begun to build a reputation among manufacturers as the place to unload their overruns, discontinue merchandise, and commercial failures. Sales by the end of the decade topped $10 million. Louis Merrifield joined the company as a corporate counsel in 1971 and led the company into its initial public offering the following year. The IPO, involving 250,000 shares priced at $14.50 per share, quickly sold out. By the mid-1970s, the company's chain of Pic N Save outlets reached 47 stores in California, including 29 in the LA area, with its first out-of-state store in Arizona. Between 1972 and 1976, sales more than tripled to $43.6 million. Earnings grew from less than $1 million in 1972 to nearly $5 million in 1976, good year, a jump attributable to Zimmerman's desire to keep cash on hand for swift purchasing power instead of investing in more rapid expansion. By 1976, the company employed more than 1,000 people and operated its own 35-truck fleet with a warehouse space in 4 Los Angeles facilities. Almost all of its stores were leased, and about 40% were subleased. By 1981, the company achieved $133 million in revenues at its 78 stores, providing net earnings of over $8 million. Zimmerman's 31% share of the company was already valued at over $100 million. The company was also valued by thousands of manufacturers across the country. Where Zimmerman once made the rounds of manufacturers, many were now coming to Pic N Save's team of buyers. The company not only took unwanted merchandise off merchandisers' hands, but also showed a willingness to do so on the manufacturer's term, which often included agreements not to advertise the product or to resell to direct competitors in the manufacturer's ordinary distribution channels. These arrangements allowed manufacturers to discontinue failed and overstocked items quietly without damaging the image of their brand names. For its part, Pic N Save rarely spent more than 1% of revenues on advertising, depending instead on strong word of mouth and loyalty of its customers. Operations expanded into Nevada, Texas, New Mexico, and Utah, raising the number of stores in the chain to 87. The company faced a new challenge in 1991. Its expansion into the Southeast brought the company into conflict with National Merchandise Corporation, which had been licensing the nearly identical Pic N Save name in the 1950s and had registered it in 1968, a move that Pic N Save had neglected. Under a settlement, Pic N Save was allowed to keep its name in its California stores. All the other stores, as well as the corporation itself, were to be given a new name. Instead of hiring an outside consultant or marketing research experts, the company held a contest among its store employees. The winning name was MacFrugals. The corporation formally changed its name to MacFrugals Bargains Closeouts, Inc. in 1992. MacFrugals sounds to me like someone let their kids choose the name. Maybe it was inspired by DuckTales' Scrooge McDuck, or someone thought it was cute to name it similar to McDonald's. The name change and a variety of cost-cutting measures, coupled with merchandising successes such as selling 90,000 pairs of LA Gear sneakers, normally priced at $65, for $19, helped in the turnaround. Between 1993 and 1995, the company opened more than 100 new stores, including an aggressive 1995 push into the Midwest market, adding 17 stores in that region in 1995 alone. By 1995, the company faced a changing retail environment. The line between discount retailers such as Kmart and closeout retailers were becoming blurred, and MacFrugals found it difficult to maintain its traditional 40 to 70% pricing edge. MacFrugals left both markets in the late 1990s. In 1997, Consolidated Stores Corporation bought out the remaining MacFrugals stores for $995 million in stock. In 2002, Big Lots, formerly Consolidated Stores, converted them into the Big Lots brand. Mark Miller opened the next generation of bargain and closeout retail, Pic N Save Bargains, on Friday, November 13, 2020, in Anaheim Town Square in Anaheim, California. After working at Pic N Save for 15 years and then parting ways, Miller was applying his vast knowledge of the Los Angeles market and years of discount retail expertise to create a store that combined elements of the Costco, a Trader Joe's, and a Dollar General, an idea he had for a very long time. After 3 years of planning, Pic N Save Bargains had finally come to fruition. The next generation store carries a variety of name brand household staples and high-quality treasure hunt finds, including health and beauty aids, housewares, home decor, electronics, appliances, groceries, and seasonal items at closeout prices. Because Big Lots still owned the rights to the Pic N Save name, Miller decided to add Bargains tag to the name of his store. Unlike some off-price retailers, Pic N Save Bargains sources the majority of its inventory from overstocked items as opposed to cheap off-brand imports. Among the brands that will be part of this rotating inventory are Ziploc, Hanes, Rubbermaid, Nivea, Tide, Farberware, and Mattel. I actually saw this store in Whittier while I was passing by for work. The store in Whittier is actually the second store in the Pic N Save Bargains family. In fact, there are currently only 2 locations, with the first one being in Anaheim. According to an employee at the Whittier store, plans are underway to open an additional 10 more stores in the Southern California area. The way the store is configured, the bright lights, the warehouse kind of feel, products arranged neatly on pallets, reminds me a lot of the Costco format, minus the large floor space. Gone are the days when Pic N Save looked like the Big Lots. And speaking of Big Lots, I see the irony here because Big Lots as a chain is going downhill and slowly going out of business. and now its early predecessor, Pic N Save, is now geared for a comeback. Walking through the store of a Pic N Save for the first time in over 35 years for me was like a walk down memory lane. I still remember the jokes as a kid when we would tease our friends at school about how they shopped at Pic N Save as a dig on how cheap or lack of style they had. But to think of it now, I guess I've come a long way because I don't mind the stigma of shopping there. It's not like my mother's Pic N Save anymore. The prices aren't bad, and who doesn't want to save a buck? So what do you remember about this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.
Bringing back memories from the good old days. That's super cool, man.